Hi everyone, I'm Izzy and I'm a physicist. So we've already learned that atoms make up everything around us. This grass, you, me, the trees. But where do these atoms come from? Do you know? So atoms, some of the smallest, tiniest things we know, are made in the biggest things we know, stars. Stars are the factories of the universe. The lightest atoms, from hydrogen to iron, are produced at the center of a star. For example, in our sun, two hydrogen atoms collide together with extremely high energy and they make helium, but also they produce light as a byproduct, and the star and our sun shines. Atoms that are heavier than iron are made when stars explode. So stars that are bigger and heavier than our sun eventually run out of fuel and they explode in these incredible supernovas. This scatters the heaviest atoms like gold, lead, and iron across the universe. So we are made of fairly light atoms, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. And like everything else in the world, we are made of stardust. Let's see how some of these ideas inspire us to dance.
Hello everyone, and it's me again, Yanael, for this session. We've just heard that stars, like our sun, are like giant atom factories. And I'm going to use this idea of a factory as the first thing we'll do in our warm-up. So when you're ready, let's get started. Let's begin with our warm-up. And as I said, this is all about the atom factory. So the first thing we've got to do is walk to our factory. Depending on how much space you've got, you might want to do these walks on the spot, or if you're able to, just take a few steps and then change direction. So taking a sharp turn whenever you need to, using however much space you've got. Ready, standing nice and tall, let's get going. Walking around your whole space, taking sharp turns every time. It's a long way to the factory and there are many floors. We've got to go up the lift, press the button really hard, and lift is going down, just bending your knees. Lift is going up and we're going to go up on tiptoes up to the next floor and down. Once again, press the button. And lift is coming, it's going down, bend your knees. It's going up on tiptoes and come down. Corridor, let's keep walking. Taking your sharp turns. And up the stairs this time, lifting your knees up high. Nearly there. Keep going, high knees. 3, 2, 1. Here we are, we've hit the factory door. Let's take the door handle and rotate it. Take it and turn it. One more time, it's really heavy. And turn it. There's another door, security. Ready, turn it. And take the handle, turn it. One last turn. Here we are, opening the door. And let's check the conveyor belt. See if everything's going smoothly. Across to the other side, one more time. All going well. One last time. Great! Everything's running smoothly in the factory and the atoms are being brought together. We're going to take one with each hand, bring 2 hydrogen atoms together, clasp your hands, and then when they're brought together, we're going to release some energy, some sunlight, because we're in our sun factory. So we're gonna go hand, hand, bring them together, release the sunlight. So you can really stretch your arms forwards and then drop them down. Once more, 1, 2, bring them together, release your light. Let's go and reach a little bit further this time. Ready, big reaches. 1, 2, bring together, release. And this time we've got to pick those atoms up there, right at the top. Ready, big reach, here you go. 1, 2, bring them together, release the light. Now, I wonder if you can pick those atoms there on the floor with your feet. Then gather your feet together to touch, and once again, we'll release the sunlight. Ready? One foot out to the side, bring it in. Other foot, bring it in and release. Big sunlight, once again. Go further with your foot, bring it in. To the side, bring it in, release the light. And last time, we're gonna use our elbows to bring atoms together. And this time, open out your elbows instead of releasing forwards. Ready? Here we go. Bring it in and in, open out. Good. Once again, elbow in, open out. Do you think you can do that with another body part? It can be your knee, it can be your shoulder. We're gonna bring two body parts together, nice and tight, and then release everything, release out the sunlight. I'm gonna go with my knees. Ready, steady, bring them together, going 1, 2, together and release. Nicely done. Last time with your own body part, going together, together, out. Release and shake out. Well done. I hope you're feeling warmer, and I hope you had fun bringing these different parts together and releasing all of that sunlight in our imaginary atom factory. Now, we are going to move on to the floor. So come and sit down. You can be cross-legged or you can be in any comfortable position on the floor. From here, what we're going to try and do is contract our body, make it really small, make it really tight, and then explode and open out from that shape. Because as we've heard in the first part of this video, at the end of the star's life, it contracts like this and then it releases those atoms out into the space. So I thought that it might be easier to do this on the floor because we've got lots of surfaces here that we can use. We can push our hand, we can gather our legs together, and then maybe as you explode, one leg might come out and your arms might come out. Let's see. Beginning cross-legged for me, we are going to contract our backs and arms and legs, bringing everything in, making yourself nice and tight. You might even hold on to your arms and hug your knees with your elbows, contracting everything. And then when you release, you might be able to open one leg out, maybe opening both legs out. It can have any shape that you'd like, but I want to see the difference between a really tight contraction and then a really big explosion, which can have any shape you'd like. Ready? So we begin sitting tall and contract, bring everything in. Nice and tight and release. Good, let's do that one more time. Bring everything in, round back, your knees, your hands, your head, everything tight and release. Good, let's do that once more. This time, use one hand on the floor to push yourself up in the explosion. So it's going to look like this. If I show you side on, I'll be here. When I explode, I'm going to use my hand there to push my hips up. So I'm really pressing down through that hand. Have a go at that one. Ready? Contract, contract. Bring everything in, make yourself tight, and explode. Use your hand. Exploding here. Now you might find another shape that you want to explode in. If you want to use both your feet on the floor, you might be able to also lift your hips up and lift one arm up, so this could be your explosion. Or you could keep your legs on the floor but just open them out nice and wide. Or else you can keep your legs and hips on the floor and just explode with your arms and head up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more explosion. It can be your own shape. We're all gonna start with a really tight contraction, and then you can go off into your own explosion. Sitting tall to begin with. Ready, go. Contract, bring everything in. Holding tight and explode. Great, well done. Now, these explosions can also be done up on our feet. Let's get back up to standing, and I'm sure you will be able to do some really big, explosive jumps. But before we jump, it's really important to warm up our feet properly. If you're on a hard floor, don't go too high. We're mostly going to be doing some bounces in our legs, so take it easy. We're just going to go for some small jumps first, some warm-up jumps. I'm going to show you side on so you can see what I do with my heels and my toes in these. The first movement is just a little bounce up and down. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So just 4 times, bouncing down and up the knees. And as you can see here, my heels are staying on the ground. I'm not taking off just yet. All right, so we do 4 of these. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. After these 4, we're going to lift the heels just off the floor. So we're then going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not jumping just yet. I'm just lifting those heels, and you might want to use your arms there to give you a little bit of an impulse, because next we're going all the way up. So 4 bounces, 4 half jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half jumps. 2, 3, 4. This time we're actually going to jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going just off the floor, trying to lift your toes off the ground and place your heels back down every time. After the 4 jumps, we're going to take a step, and then your own explosive jump. Mine is going to look like this. Jump. Yours might have another shape. Just make sure that you've got room in front of you to go step, step, and then your own explosive jump. So, should we have a quick recap? We have 4 bounces. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 jumps on the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got your step, step, and your explosive jump. Step, step, explosive jump. Right, let's get ready. Come to one side of your space, making sure that you've got room to do these 2 steps and your big jump. If you don't have that much room around you, you can do all of the bounces on the spot, and then what you'll do is just go 1 foot, other foot, and then do your explosion. So you could go 1, 2, explode. So you can do everything on the spot as well. I'm going to be traveling the last 2 steps, so making sure that I start far enough on one end of the space. Are you ready? Are you standing tall? Have you got your feet hip width apart? Great, let's go for it. 4 bounces, 4 half jumps, 4 actual jumps on the spot. A step, and your big explosive jump. Ready, steady, And here we go. Bounce. 2, 3, 4. Half jumps. 2, 3, 4. And hop. 2, 3, 4. Step, step, explode. Let's give that one more go. Maybe thinking of a different explosion. What kind of shape is it going to have? How are you going to explode this time? Let's give it one more chance. Feet hip width apart, standing nice and tall. Ready, steady. We begin with 4 bounces. Going 1, 2, 3, 4. Hard jumps. 2, 3, 4. And hop. 2, 3, 4. And step, step, explode. Well done. Shake out your legs. And catching your breath, deep breath in and breathing out. One more time, deep breath in and breathe out. Good, I hope you enjoyed these explosive jumps. I hope you enjoyed learning this jumping sequence. Now is your time to get a little bit more creative with it. So as we've heard in the first part of this video, at the end of the star's life, it scatters all of these atoms across the space. And for me, the word scattering made me think of throwing lots of different things, lots of different body parts around me. So here is how you can use scattering as well as your jumps. You might be going around the spot. This is one thing you can do if you're dancing by yourself. Now, another version of this scattering dance is if you're in a group, you can start in the center of your space, but face different directions so that one of you will be starting their jumps this way, while the other person might be going that way. So at the end, you will be scattered across the space, and your big explosive jump, one of them might happen here, one of them might happen there, and one of them might happen there if you've got 3 partners. So remember that you can always use our playlist to do your own creative exploration. Pressing pause on this video, and then when you've done it, when you're ready, come back and press play again, and we'll just finish with some cool down. I hope you had fun with your own scattering dances, whether you were working by yourself or with partners. And as I said, we're just going to finish with a few stretches. It's always really important to stretch our legs after we've jumped. So we're going to begin with a calf stretch, taking one big step and trying to press your heel down into the floor. You can try and keep your hands on your hips here, or if you'd rather, place them on your thigh and lean forwards. Breathing deeply here, we're just going to hold the stretch for a little bit longer, trying to press your heel down into the floor and relax. Bring that foot back in and let's swap over. Take a big step back with the other leg. Once again, an option to stay upright with your hands on your hips, or to come forwards over your bent leg. You should feel a nice stretch down the calf there. Breathing deeply, almost there. And bring that foot back in. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. And let's take one big arm stretch. We're gonna take one arm across the chest and then push it in with the other hand or with the other elbow, keeping your shoulders nice and low. Breathing deeply here. And relax, let that arm drop. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So bringing the arm straight across your chest and pushing it in either with your hand or with your elbow, keeping your shoulders nice and low. One more deep breath. And relax, letting those arms drop and swing around you. And we're just going to find some tiny little movements to finish off, either in your hands, or maybe in your shoulders, or maybe even in your legs, imagining the tiniest parts of your body having their own little lazy dance, taking them around in circles, stretching them and folding them back in, and then making those movements even smaller. They're already small, getting even smaller, even smaller, even smaller, until I can hardly see any movements. Maybe it's just happening inside your body, the tiniest little movements. Coming back to a place where there's almost no visible movement happening, but you might still be moving inside your body. Just remembering, as we've heard in the beginning of the video, that from the sun, from these big atom factories and all of the other stars, atoms get scattered all over, even into our own bodies. So in a way, as you're standing there, you could feel that you are made of stardust, and that all of these tiny things, these tiny atoms inside your body are still dancing, even as you stand still. Taking a deep breath in just to finish, and a deep breath out. Really, really well done. This was the last video in our series, so thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that you enjoyed learning about atoms, learning about how they make our world, and also exploring that in movement with myself and Akeem. You've all done really well, I'm sure, so super well done, and bye!
So I hope you enjoyed that dancing. While you were dancing, I was inspired to make this drawing about how we are all made of stardust. Maybe you want to try something like this too, either a drawing or a collage, whatever inspires you and whatever you think of when you think of stars and how atoms come from stars. And also thank you for joining us for this whole series of elemental dances. We hope that you've had fun and enjoyed yourself as much as we have.